How powerful is Cox Internet? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Rhode Island jam like you're all in the same garage. Get Cox Internet powered by fiber with America's fastest download speeds. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial connection. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.
Listen up. I won't sugarcoat it. This is the longest cold, flu, and allergy season we've ever seen, but we're not alone. We've got Instacart. Sure, you may be a coughing snot faucet who just wants mommy, but you're not giving up! Not when cold medicine, fragrant herbal teas, and honey shaped like bears can be delivered through Instacart in as fast as 30 minutes! Now let's go win the sick playoffs!
Daddy, I just want my soup.
Oh, sorry, Sport. App says it'll be here in a few minutes. Instacart for the win.
Former big leaguer Rick Ankiel of the St. Louis Cardinals and a few other teams, including the Kansas City Royals. Rick, welcome to our show. Thank you.
Yeah, what's going on? How are you guys?
You know, we're doing okay. I believe you're down in Florida, correct?
I am down in Florida.
So let's start with spring training. Have you been to see? I'm a Cardinals fan for a long, long time, Rick. Have you been to see the Cardinals this spring? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I have been over there to see them. Yeah, it's a great, it's a good time for Florida, right? Springtime, all the teams show up, the Cardinals included. I thought it was good. It's early, right? So I think from a result standpoint, I don't put too much in results when you're watching the team at this stage. You're just looking about how they're gelling together, where it's going. I mean, I think when you look at, obviously we've had a few little injuries, right? But when everybody's healthy, I mean, I'm just looking at it like I want to see what the pitching staff can do. See what the guys that they brought in can do. Excited about the new additions and look forward to see how it plays out.
So we were having this debate earlier, and for 95% of the players, it's pretty locked in where they're going to end up. Of course, the big league guys' results really don't matter. But what about a guy battling for a roster spot? What does the coaching staff, the manager, look at for those guys, the guys that might be on the fringe a little bit?
I think sometimes they're actually wanting those guys to fail. I don't mean fail, but they want to see what they do when they have a couple bad days in a row. How do they handle that from an adversity standpoint? Because, look, you know how baseball is. You're constantly dealing with failures. And when you're young, since you don't know how to internalize the failure, the ups and downs, the 0 for 3, 0 for 10. So what happens when they make an error? Can they get back into the next play, from a defensive standpoint with their head in the game, paying attention, or, you kind of see what body language is. So not just the results, but are they swinging at good pitches? Are they chasing balls out of the zone? All that, I think all of that plays in. Obviously the results are nice, but you want to see, what is he seeing the ball well? Because you could be seeing the ball great, but not have numbers to show for it. Maybe you hit some hard balls that went at someone or, but at least you're commanding the strike zone, and that goes for pitchers too, just seeing where they are. Usually early in spring as a pitcher, you don't have as much command of your off-speed stuff, and usually that comes with a couple weeks in, and so, I think you're looking at those things.
Talking with former big leaguer Rick Ankiel, are you going to be part of the Cardinals broadcasts again this year, the pre and post game?
No. Nope.
Come on, man.
Nope,
I got to have you on that.
You know what, bud? I wish I was. It's my sons are 11 and 12. As a matter of fact, we're going to do our sessions. We're going to just call today at 3. And what happens is the boys got home, and I forgot about it, and we were actually hitting in the cage. So I didn't want to leave them hanging because we were down the street at a friend's house hitting. So thank you. But, I think with them being 11 and 12, I'm just trying to find stuff that I can do more local. That makes more sense for everyone.
I hear you. So your book has been out for a while. It's called The Phenomenon, Pressure, the Yips, and the Pitch That Changed My Life. Well, a lot of people know your story, Rick. I'm just curious, when all this went down, and I know exactly what pitch you're talking about and what transformed, and this incredible pitching career kind of went up in smoke, and you turned your attention to hitting, were able to get back to the big leagues as a very good hitter as well. Was there ever a time when what happened to you and with you caused you to lose any of your passion for baseball?
Yeah, you could look at it that way for sure because there's, baseball growing up was fun. And I enjoyed to compete. I think most people who play do. And there's a time where I didn't want to go to the field. And, I think growing up, I couldn't wait to go to the field. And when you're dealing with something like that, just not being able to throw a strike or not being able to throw it to the guy you're playing catch with, there's not a lot of enjoyment in that. So looking forward to go to the field was something that was lost. So, yeah, you can definitely say I lost a passion for it because it's like I wasn't even competing, right? I was just figuring out how to try to get the ball close enough to the strike and to the strike zone to compete. But, there was 4 years of that where it felt like I really wasn't, I wasn't competing at all, if that makes sense.
What was the work ethic like between getting to the big leagues as a pitcher and then having to restart as a hitter? Obviously you worked hard to get to the big leagues at 19, but I have to assume some of it came pretty easy for you because you were dominant in the big leagues at 20. So how much work did you have to put in, comparatively speaking, starting over and becoming a full-time hitter?
I think from a mental standpoint, it was the same. And because my dream was always to become the best baseball player ever. That's, or the best pitcher ever when I was a pitcher. So I looked at it like that, and I worked very hard. I didn't take it for granted. I understood, that God had blessed me with it was unbelievable, and I had a chance to be something special. So, but what happened when I switched over was I was constantly trying to catch up with time. So I was 25 at the time. So, you show up early. I'm taking 100 extra fly balls. When practice is done and everybody left, same thing, an extra 100 swings, an extra, working on jumps in the outfield. So it was just, I would say different, but it was when you used the word passion early, what happened was my passion came back, right? I wanted to go to the field. I wanted to get better. I wanted to learn. And really I was doing as much as my body would physically let me do. Right before there comes to some point where you're going to get hurt. If you take too many reps, your body gets tired, all that stuff. So basically I was doing as much as I thought my body could handle.
Rick Ankiel with us. For my money, the most incredible prospect that the Cardinals have had. Didn't work out as a pitcher. He went to the outfield. He became a very good major league outfielder and hitter. And then the stuff at Coors Field happened. So you go to the wall, you retrieve a couple balls, you throw them on a dime to get runners at third base. I've never seen throws like that in my life. It's such irony that you lost your control as a pitcher and were able to put those throws exactly where they needed to be.
Yeah, it was almost like a cruel joke from the baseball gods. Once I got out past 100 feet, I could throw the ball anywhere I wanted again. And when I got inside 100 feet, it was like my body didn't want to let me do it. But thanks for the walk down memory lane. People bring up those throws a lot, and it's always fun to think about them. So thanks for bringing it up.
Was there a moment for you, Rick, where you knew you had remade it, that you felt like you belonged in the big leagues as an outfielder and a hitter? Did you have that light bulb moment where you just knew it was going to work out?
Man, that's a great question. I knew I had power as a hitter. So, the biggest challenge I knew that I was going to have was, could I hit consistently enough to make the power work? And then in the outfield, once I got to the big leagues, the hitting was there. I think there became a point where, baseball is about playing the outfield is about anticipating what can happen next, right? There's a runner on first, the ball gets hit to my left in this gap, then I don't have a play at third, possibly at home. That runner is going to be at first. There came a time when there was a lot less. I didn't have to anticipate as much. It just became a habit, right? I could look at it and know exactly what I was going to do if the ball was put in a certain place, versus really sitting there and having to go, okay, if it's hit down the right field line, when I turn around, the cutoff man's going to be here or the cutoff man's going to be there. Because at first, when you're learning how to play the outfield, that's what a lot of that was. Just really trying to, think about what was going to happen next. And then when it becomes a habit, then you can start playing the games within the games, the cat and mouse games with the runners and different things like that. So I'd say It might have been after the first when I got called, maybe a month or two in, because I had some time in minor leagues in the outfield too. But that's just it just became more of a habit of what could transpire in front of me.
Couple moments here left with Rick Ankiel, a longtime big leaguer for several teams, most notably, in my opinion, the St. Louis Cardinals. So at the age of 20 in 2000, you were 11-7 with a 3.50 earned run average, 175 innings pitched. You struck out 194. An incredible young pitcher. We know what happened with the loss of your command. You turned your attention to hitting, and you had your best year in 2008 with the Cardinals, 25 homers. You batted .264. You drove in 71 runs with an OPS of well over 800. You got to be – I know that maybe your career didn't turn out the way you thought it would, or many of us hoped it would, but you got to be proud of the transition you were able to make to be that level of a player, both as a pitcher and a hitter.
I'm very proud of it, no question. And, even when you just read those stats, I was thinking about it. Not only do people know this, but I was 11-7, but I went 10 straight starts without a decision. So I wasn't in line to win every one of those, but there was, we could say 7 of those, I at least had a chance to get the win. There, but it's not very good. I didn't give up. All the hard work that I put into it, it played off, and being able to make it to the big leagues and, play as an outfielder, it was an incredible experience. And now with my kids, or giving back to the youth and teaching kids the nuances of pitching and hitting, it's fun. And it's always fun to tell stories about what I went through, the ups and downs. It's not a fair hill. It worked, and as you said, I'm very proud of that.
So you were on the roster to play for the Kansas Stars, but I don't remember if you actually played. Did you? Yeah,
we came to the alumni game. That's when we played the college guys.
Yeah, were you? Yeah.
I did, yeah. So I came in and played, and a couple guys were like, "Hey, I think why don't you pitch?" I was like, "All right." I just thought I was at a point in time after retiring that I thought it would go well. So I went out there and pitched, and it did. It went really good. It was good to get back out there on the mound. And, at the time when I did it, it felt good enough to where I thought, you know what, I think I could make a comeback and, help a team win, at least out of the bullpen, come in, fire some curveballs. And at that time, baseball, you were really seeing a lot of 12-6 curveballs and a lot of high fastballs. Well, that's something that I did well when I pitched. And so I tried to make a comeback, but one thing that happened is when I played in that game, I didn't really get ready as far as throwing. I just got there and, unleashed it, and I ended up having I slightly tore a ligament in my elbow because I really, my body wasn't ready to handle that kind of velocity.
Rick Ankiel, our guest, you pitched obviously in the 2000 divisional series against the Braves, held them scoreless in the first 2 innings, and then the 3rd inning came about, and that's where you just seemingly just lost your command. And do you – I don't know how to ask this question. It's a tough one to ask, but do you still wake up at night thinking about that, or have you completely put that in your past? How does that work?
I just put it in my past. I look at it like, bad things happen to good people. It wasn't in my control, it was just something I had to deal with. And I dealt with it, the best way I could, overcame it, found a way around it, made it back to the big leagues. And it's like getting in a car crash, right? Sometimes it's not always your fault, but you got to deal with the damage after. And you put everything back together and you keep it moving. So, no, I don't think about it too often. It just, it's one of those things that happen. And, here we are, and tomorrow's tomorrow, today's today.
So I'm involved with a youth baseball organization here in Wichita. I would imagine that you could, I don't know if you do, but I would imagine that you could do a speaking engagement every day. Do you do those?
I do. And I don't do them every day, but I've definitely done it. And like I said, I coach my son's team who's 11, and, it's just nice to give back. And I help as much as possible with any way I can help, whether it's a coach, whether it's kids. It's just, I've always felt, as an ex-player, when you're done playing, it's your job to give back what you've learned. So I, try to do that as much as possible.
Well, awesome stuff. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I hope someday you manage to get back into television because you're really good at it. And I say that as a harsh critic of media. So I would not say that if I didn't believe it. I hope it happens for you, Rick.
Thank you. I appreciate it. If the timing's right, it will.
All right. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
How powerful is Cox Internet? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Rhode Island jam like you're all in the same garage. Get Cox Internet powered by fiber with America's fastest download speeds. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial connection. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.
The national sales event is on at your Toyota dealer, making now the perfect time to get a great deal on a dependable new car. Like a legendary Camry, built for performance and available with all-wheel drive, you can count on your new Camry to get anywhere you need to go. And with available features like heated seats and a multimedia touchscreen, you can stay connected in comfort and style. Or check out an affordable and reliable Corolla with a trim for every lifestyle. From the hip and agile sedan to the sporty hatchback, there's a dependable Corolla built just for you. Plus, both Camrys and Corollas are available in hybrid models, so no matter your style, you can drive efficiently and affordably. And right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So visit your local Toyota dealer. And check out amazing national sales event deals on Camrys, Corollas, and more when you visit buyatoyota.com. Offers end April 1st. Toyota, let's go places.
Leading Ladies, a concert in celebration of Women's History Month featuring Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, Christina Perri. At the King's Theater in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday, March 20th. Tickets are on sale now. You don't want to miss this amazing night of music dedicated to uplifting women's voices. With Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, and Christina Perri. Odyssey's Leading Ladies presented by Olay Body. Buy your tickets now at kingstheater.com.